good morning. I almost said Monday. It's not Monday. Today's Tuesday. Today's back to school Tuesday. And I am having a little cup of coffee, getting my day started. So let's get to our business. We will start with schedule and calendar. I'm using my big pad today. Georgia Grace, please. That dog chews on that bone every time. She's been out here quiet as a mouse. And as soon as I go to get started, she's chomping. I have more to say. I'm telling you something. It's about days and times. Back in my regular spot, so my glare's not so bad, which makes me feel better. Kind of feels like I'm back in my regular routine. All of my busy is done now for a little bit. Today, turn the page. It's back to school Tuesday. Turn the page. Go into our months. We're into July, or I'm sorry, we're into August. The month just changed. We're into August now. So I'm going back to the beginning, this section. Today is August the 4th. So it's an easy one to count today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember always when you are working here, turn the page. There we go. Remember when I'm working in the pod book, you guys have your pages at home. So make sure you get those out and kind of do some work in those pages. Making sure kids are scanning, making sure they're looking and making choices. You can separate them out and put them on their 4 squares. You have 4 squares that you can use, or the eye gaze ones. So those things all should be available. If you don't have them, let me know, and I can make sure you get them right away. Another nice thing to talk about is the weather. Kids always kind of get into that a little bit more. It's pretty concrete. And let's see. Oh, I don't have my watch on right now. I think the rain is finished now. I think we're going to have a kind of half sunny, cloudy day today. I'm not quite sure. It's not as hot as it's been, I can tell you that. I was out this morning, and the humidity's not so bad. It's not so sticky out. I think it's going to be kind of a nice day to be out in the yard. I think, as long as we don't get more rain. Boy, we've had some rain. We've had some thunder and lightning too. So get your pad out and do your schedule and calendar. Day, date, there's a new month. It's a good time to go through your calendar with kids and kind of set up things that you have that are important. Maybe you have an appointment or somebody's birthday. Put those on your personal calendars so kids are referencing those things, because that's part of why we go through calendar and schedule, is to say, to have kids understand that there's an importance to keeping that kind of schedule so that you know when things are happening. So do your August calendar today with kids. This week for our unit, our theme is picnic. It was kind of hard to pick things to do for picnic, so my theme, my unit lesson, the slide that you'll get today, are picnic activities, things that you can do at a picnic. In Ellen's video, we have speech today. We have Miss Ellen's speech video today. You'll get your vocabulary list. Mine's all cut apart, so it's laying here kind of in pieces, because that's how I usually do it. But it's activities, things that you might eat at a picnic, hot dogs or hamburgers. You may picnic at a table, or you may picnic like on a blanket at the beach or at the park or something. Picnics can happen at home or away. Maybe you'll use the grill. You'll need things like cups and plates and napkins. You also have a picture of silverware. So Ellen's activity today is in her Tar Heel Reader. You'll need to print off the vocabulary because we'll be using it all week. You'll use it in my lesson, you'll use it in Ellen's today, and then again throughout the week. So print the vocabulary, watch Ellen's video. She at the end, or near the end, reads through a couple of Tar Heel Reader books. and you have access through the end of her lesson. You can click on the link to read, to do those yourself too. And they're kind of fun. You can use the vocabulary to support that. But my unit slide was different activities that you could do. That's where I was going with that. I kind of lost my train of thought. Different activities you could do at a picnic. One is like setting up the picnic, lots of fine motor, gross motor, reaching, grabbing, using the core, sitting up straight to grab things out of the picnic basket. You can make it like a game and draw the pictures out, like, oh, napkin. And you get the napkin out. Plate, we'll need a plate. So you can make it like a game. And then there were a couple other like game ones, a flip, flop, flip, where the kids have to sit up and swing their feet to kick off a shoe, and you measure how far using your right and left foot. There's a fill the cup, which, any of these can be done kind of with other kids if you've got them there, or with yourself or a parent or a sibling or a friend, a worker, anybody that happens to be there. The flip, flop, flip can be a challenge. Fill the cup can be a challenge. You'll just need a bowl of water, a cup, and like a sponge or a washcloth. And again, fine motor, gross motor, using your body. Put the cloth or the sponge in the bowl, pick it up, hold it, move over to the cup and squeeze so that the water transfers from the bowl to the cup. You can do it like a race. Let me see, what's the other one? Oh, and then there was just some other ones at the end. Water balloon, like a typical water balloon race where they have to carry it or balance it and drop it into a bucket. Water balloon dodgeball, which is like the regular water balloon toss. Pass the water. Everybody gets a cup. The first person dips into the bowl and gets water, moves it over, pours it into the next person's cup. They pour it into the next person's cup. Or they can just pour it into a bowl, scoop from one and pour into the other. Great fine motor, gross motor skills. And then frisbee golf. You can use a plate. You can use a frisbee if you've got it. We've set it up with like hula hoops, or just lay out a piece of string in a circle and have kids toss that frisbee or the plate into the golf course that you have to set up either in the living room or around the backyard. So just kind of fun, picnicky kinds of things. Time to get outside if you can and do that stuff. Gym is usually on Monday, but our gym and music have been kind of combining. So because speech and language and unit are pretty heavy today, I'm moving this again to Thursday. So you'll have gym class and music class together on Thursday. So anyway, if you get pictures of any of the activities or any video, I'd love to see them. I wanted to make a little video last week of some of the kids doing some summer stuff, but I only got like one video. So any pictures that you can send me, I know the kids would like to see each other. They get a chance to see us a lot. But it would be nice if they got to see each other. So any pictures you can send me this week, shoot them out through the inbox, okay? I'm going to read a little bit and ask a couple chapter questions. Just a couple minutes. I'm already at 8 minutes, which is kind of long to watch. So I hope you guys have a great day. I'll read a little bit in Hoot, and then I'll ask you your WH questions, and you'll be off for the day. So Curly was kind of getting in trouble with the Mother Paula's people because of the problem. So remember, he got those dogs to watch the property. And Roy's mom worked it out so he could go back on the bus. He wasn't really excited about it. So let's see what happens with Roy. We're moving back to Roy again. The next morning, Roy's mother offered to drop him at the bus on her way to yoga class. Roy said no thanks. The rain had finally let up and he felt like walking. A fresh breeze was blowing in off the bay, and the tangy salt air tasted good. Seagulls circled overhead while two osprey piped at each other in a nest on top of a concrete utility pole. On the ground at the base of the pole were bleached fragments of mullet skeletons that had been picked clean and discarded by the birds. Roy paused to study the fish bones. Then he stepped back and peered up at the osprey, whose heads were barely visible over the scraggle of the nest. He could tell that one was larger than the other, a mother probably, teaching her fledglings how to hunt. In Montana, osprey lived in the cottonwoods all along the big rivers, where they dived on trout and whitefish. Roy had been pleasantly surprised to find that Florida had ospreys too. It was remarkable that the same species of bird was able to thrive in two places so far apart and so completely different. If they can do it, thought Roy, maybe I can too. He hung around watching the nest for so long that he almost missed the school bus. He had to jog the last block to get there before it pulled away, and he was the last to board. The other kids grew strangely quiet as Roy made his way down the aisle. When he sat down, the girl in the window seat quickly stood up and moved to another row. Roy got a bad feeling, but he didn't want to turn around to see if he was right. He hunkered down and pretended to read his comic book. He heard kids whispering in the seat behind him, followed by a hasty gathering of books and backpacks. In a flash, they were gone, and Roy sensed a larger presence, skulking. "Hi, Dana," he said, twisting slowly in his seat. "Hey, cowgirl." After a week, Dana Matherson's nose was still slightly purple and puffy, though it definitely wasn't protruding from the center of his forehead as Garrett had claimed. The only thing startling about Dana's appearance was a fat, scabrous upper lip that hadn't been that way when Roy dropped off the letter at Dana's front door. Roy wondered if Dana's mother had popped him in the kisser. The new injury endowed the big oaf with a discerning lisp. "You and me got some business to settle, Eberhart." "What business?" Roy said. "I gave you an apology. That makes us even." Dana clamped a moist, ham-sized hand over Roy's face. "We're a long way from even, you and me." Roy couldn't speak because his mouth was covered. Not that he had much to say. Sorry about that, timer. Roy couldn't speak because his mouth was covered. Not that he had much to say. He glared out from between Dana's pudgy fingers, which reeked of cigarettes. "You're going to be sorry you ever messed with me," Dana growled. "I'm going to be your worst nightmare." The bus rolled to a sudden halt. Dana quickly let go of Roy's face and folded his hands primly in case the driver was looking in the mirror. 3 kids from Roy's grade got on the bus and upon spotting Dana, wisely scrambled for seats up front. As soon as the bus started moving, Dana again grabbed for Roy, who calmly slapped his arm away. Dana rocked back, staring at him in disbelief. "Didn't you even read the letter?" Roy asked. "Everything will be cool as long as you leave me alone." "Did you just hit me? Did you hit my arm?" "So sue me," Roy said. Dana's eyes widened. "What did you say?" "I say you need to get your hearing checked, partner, along with your IQ." Roy wasn't sure what possessed him to wise off to such a violent kid. He didn't particularly enjoy getting roughed up, but the alternative was to cower and beg, which he couldn't lower himself to do. Every time the Eberharts moved from one town to another, Roy encountered a whole new set of bullies and goons. He considered himself an expert on the breed. If he stood his ground, they usually backed down or looked for someone else to hassle. Insulting them, however, could be risky. Roy noticed a couple of Dana's meathead pals watching the scene from the back of the bus. That meant Dana would feel obligated to demonstrate what a tough hombre he was. "Hit me," said Roy. "What?" "Go ahead, get it out of your system. You're a nutcase, Eberhart." "And you're a dumb bucket of mud, Matherson." That one did the trick. Dana lunged across the seat and whacked Roy on the side of the head. After straightening himself, Roy said, "There. Feel better now?" "Darn right I do," Dana exclaimed. "Good." Roy turned around and opened his comic book. Dana smacked him again. Roy toppled sideways on the seat. Dana laughed cruelly and shouted something to his buddies. Roy sat up right away. His head really hurt, but he didn't want anyone to know. Nonchalantly, he picked his comic book up off the floor and placed it in his lap. I'm going to stop right there, just for time's sake. It looks like it's kind of going to get good. I like that he's kind of standing up to him a little bit. WH questions. What animal did Roy see that he also saw in Montana? What animal was that? What question? And who is giving him a hard time on the bus again? What animal did Roy see that he saw also in Montana? And who is giving him a hard time on the bus? What and who today? All right, you guys, thank you very much for hanging out this morning. I love and miss you. I hope to see you soon. Talk to you later.